This the chopper power. 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 This the chopper
Yo! I am Fat Man, and this is the chopper power. We in the building today, man.
Let's go.
Man, it's an honor. Kaysia Earley.
There you go. You got it.
Man, she running for county judge.
Yes, here in Broward County.
Here in Broward County.
Yes.
Man, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here.
Man,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Of course.
Man, so how you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm just truly, like I told you earlier today, today's a good day. I woke up this morning. God didn't take my life last night.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I'm blessed.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
So-
Yes, ma'am. Man, you got a hell of a story. I gotta tell you, man. And again, man, it's a pleasure to have you here today, man. An attorney.
Yes.
Man, the list goes on, man. We're gonna let you tell the people what you got exactly going on. So, what inspired you, man? I know you did a little time. You spoke about doing a little time from what I researched, and you're an attorney now.
Yes.
What inspired you?
Well, I always say what inspired me to be a lawyer. I always wanted to be a lawyer. Let's just get that out there. Before I went to jail, before I had my children, I always wanted to be a lawyer. I grew up in the inner city, and I knew that education was the key out because
Okay.
I wasn't, born with a silver spoon. I wanted to be a lawyer specifically because I wanted to go into politics.
Okay.
I always said when I was 10 years old, I wanted to be president, and most of the presidents were lawyers, so I worked backwards.
I see.
But when I went to college and got arrested and became a criminal, as they label you all, when you go to jail, I decided that if God allowed me to be a lawyer, I'm going to be a criminal defense attorney and pay back what my attorney didn't do for me. He didn't fight for me. He was just standing there. I had a public defender because I was in college at the time. I couldn't afford an attorney. And I'm saying to myself, he's just standing here. Tell the judge that I'm in college. Tell the judge that I never committed a crime. Tell him something. You just slumping.
Right. Just another number on some paper.
Man, I promise. I said, once I become a lawyer, I'm not going to be that one. I'm going to fight. And that's what I did.
Man, that don't get no better than that. How long you been an attorney now?
8 years.
8 years.
However, what I've done in 8 years, it takes them 20 years to do. I've tried over 100 trials to verdict.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
Did y'all hear that?
Oh my God.
100 trials to verdict. So I have been in trial. I started off as a public defender, actually.
Okay.
And I held the record in 14 months. I did about 50 juvenile trials.
Okay.
Juvenile trials, they don't have a jury. So I did that without a jury. So I've just been working hard for the community.
It's amazing. Amazing. What's the name of your law firm?
Earley Law Firm, my
Earley
last
Law
name.
Firm. Earley Law Firm.
But unfortunately, we're not accepting any more clients because you know what I got going on right now.
Of course, it's a
Bigger
lot.
and better. So
It's a lot.
no more clients. I wish you all the best, but make sure you research your lawyer. Google your lawyer before you give him $5,000, $10,000. And in fact, ask your lawyer, how many trials have you tried? Because some of these lawyers out here, they've never picked a jury. They don't know what they're doing. They're so scared. They're going to take the first plea that the prosecutor offers them. So make sure you research your lawyer. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the reason I say that because, a lot of time we pick lawyers on somebody else referring them to us, and we like, okay, well, this is the type of case I got. Maybe they'll do me like they did them, and sometimes it's a disappointment.
It is, and I used to be called the cleanup attorney. So what would happen is, this client, he would pay this lawyer, let's say $5,000 to $10,000. This lawyer sits on a case, does absolutely nothing. By the time they come to me, I feel bad, so I wouldn't charge them the 5 or 10. I would charge them half, but I still would have to charge them something, and I would complete the case within 60 days.
Wow.
So it's unfortunate, but you all take responsibility for your actions and make sure you research your attorney.
Let me ask you, Miss Kaysia. How many genres? I'm sure it's a lot of them. How many genres of law is there, man? I know you got criminal. I know you got homeowners insurance. Probably got a different type of lawyer.
Yes.
All kind of weird stuff.
It's a lot. So when you're in law school, you have to learn all the law because the bar exam tests you on only 6 topics, but they don't tell you which topics. So in order for you to pass the bar, you got to learn everything. So when I became a lawyer, I became what's called a generalist. So I practiced everything. Anything that came through my door, I took it until I realized, I don't want to do this for the money. So you have real estate attorney, you have probate. If someone dies and you got to get the will and make sure the house, grandma's house goes over here. you have different types. So it's a lot. I don't even know the number.
I'm sure.
But it's so many. But specifically, I do criminal,
Okay.
personal injury, so car accidents, slip and falls, and civil rights. So right now, I'm suing the Miami-Dade Police Department for excessive use of police force.
Okay.
So it's those 3 areas I practice, I love. I don't care about real estate or anything like that.
You cover Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County?
Well, primarily Broward.
Okay.
If I get a client in Miami, I'm charging them a premium for gas because you know that traffic.
Oh man, gas prices, man. Gas prices
Even
through the roof.
before gas prices, it's the traffic on 95. So I'm charging Miami-Dade, but I'm not even taking Miami. I've tried cases in Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, and Orlando. So usually most of the South, but word of mouth. That's how I get my clients. I don't have to advertise.
Kaysia, do normal the laws in different counties be the same?
In different counties, yes. No, they're all the same in the same county, in the same state, because I'm only barred in Florida. So all the laws are the same. We read from the same statute. So if you're charged with, let's say, possession of marijuana, it's possession of marijuana under 20 grams as a misdemeanor here in Miami, as well as Broward. So that's the same all throughout Florida. That's a good question.
It is, man. I never knew how that really worked.
Yeah, it's the same.
I mean, I knew the Florida thing covers Florida. I knew about that, but I knew it would be different for you outside of the state.
Well, in different counties, they have what's called ordinances, where it's an ordinance for that particular county.
Okay.
But the laws, that's the law of the land for the state of Florida. So it's the same.
Okay.
All right, I'm teaching you something.
Hey, man, I'm listening. I'm probably go back and listen to this video 1,000 times, man. You hear me? Man, I tell you. Let's speak on your past life, man. Growing up in Miami-Dade and things of that nature, man. Because a lot of us don't grow out of that concrete, man, that we born in, you know?
You know, you made a good point. Okay, so I was born in the Boogie Down Bronx. Anybody? Shout out Boogie Down. I only lived there for 5 years, so I don't really claim New York, even though sometimes when I say ball, it comes out the New York way. And so we moved down here. My dad had 8 kids.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was his plan, but he moved my mother and all of us down to Florida. We had a nice big house in North Miami, 5 bedrooms, and then he just left all of a sudden. So we were foreclosed, and my mother wasn't working at the time, so all of us ended up going to Alapata, that's near the Liberty City area.
Right.
And we basically was in a 2-bedroom duplex in the middle of the hood. So it was a culture shock because I never grew up around that. And it was unfortunate because I'm number 4 of the 8. So my older 2 siblings, they got pregnant at the ages of 16, I believe.
Okay.
So, you know, I didn't have much of a role model to look up to, but I knew very early on that education is the key. So thank goodness I was able to be accepted into Howard University in DC.
It's amazing. That's amazing. My daughter, we went down there for my daughter. HBCU. Shout out to HBCUs too, man, by the way, man. Shout out to the HBCUs. My daughter went into law school too. She didn't make it, but she ended up getting a doctorate in English. She English doctor.
Okay.
She worked at University of Washington.
Oh, wow.
But I remember visiting that college, man, and visiting that whole little city and things. I'm actually going up next month to visit.
Chocolate City. If y'all watching from Washington, D.C., shout out.
Yeah. Man, that accomplishment of becoming an attorney, man. That coming from the circumstances.
Yeah, coming from a single parent household, coming from being raised with a mother, both mother and father, they never graduated from high school, so they didn't have an education. I was the first generation of my entire generation to graduate, and then coming from prior incarceration, coming from a broken household. There's so many excuses I could have made. I could have became, you know, a mother and, you know, had children everywhere, but God had a plan for my life, and I'm very serious when I say this because there's no way that I could be this successful at the age of 39, by the way.
Oh my God, I thought you were like 27.
Oh, come on, say it again.
27.
Say it again for the people in the cheap seats, okay? Thank you.
Man, that is amazing. So you're the first to graduate out of 8 siblings?
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yes.
Man.
First to graduate, first to get married, first to purchase a home, first to purchase a brand new car. I've broken so many barriers. First to become a lawyer, and soon, first to become a judge.
That's amazing.
You heard it here first, okay?
Yeah, we're going to claim that.
Thank you.
That's
It's
what's
already
up,
done.
Man. That's what's up, man. Man, you could have got ahead of my question, man. You said that the siblings, I was going to ask you about that. HBCUs, man. Did you set out to go to HBCU in the beginning?
You know, it was always something about Howard. I always heard about it because, you know, there's a song that Biggie sings. And he gives a shout out to Howard and all the HBCUs. P. Diddy went there, and a lot of good people went there. Thurgood Marshall went there.
I think Taraji P. too.
Taraji P., Felicia Rashad. I actually went to school with Lance Gross. He plays on a lot of movies, Tyler Perry movies.
Okay.
We were in fashion shows together, and I remember he told everyone he was going back to California, and he did exactly what he set out to do. So a lot of great people come out of Howard, including Kaysia Earley.
Yeah, straight up,
right.
claim
Come
that,
on.
man.
Come
Claim
on.
that, man. Man, I know becoming a lawyer, did you ever see your side? I know you were public defender first.
I sure was.
Broward County,
Yes.
public defender. Tried 100 cases.
Yeah, over. I
Over
stopped
100.
counting after 100.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Man. That public defender work, man. I always thought, like you spoke about it, man, I always thought that they don't really seem like they don't be doing their job, man.
Some don't. I'm gonna be. We said we're gonna be honest and straight
Please.
up right here, right?
Please.
You don't want me to sugarcoat it.
No, please.
Okay, so you all are gonna get the inside scoop on what the public defender office is. So I worked there for 14 months. I was supposed to give a 2-year commitment. I left. Yes, I did. I quit. I did that because when I got in, I came in on a Thursday and I tried my first case on a Tuesday. Now, obviously, I went to law school. They train you to be a lawyer. But I didn't have the training and experience to be a litigator. There's a difference. A lawyer, you have the knowledge. A litigator, you have the experience to persuade and understand the law. I started off in the juvenile division, and what I was realizing there were some lawyers there that were not doing their job, and it was disgusting. I'm like, yo, you all have these children. These are kids now. You're in the juvenile division. You all are not investigating these cases, setting depositions, challenging the state to prove their case, and you're just taking these children down a path of pleas.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is when these children take these pleas, they can't go to college because now they got a criminal record. You can't get a scholarship. You can't do a lot of things. And I felt really bad, so I was trying a lot of cases. Most of my cases got dismissed or found not guilty. Then I was transferred to the adult division, and I was seeing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
These public defenders, they're chopping it up with the prosecutors. Now I'm saying it's okay to be nice and professional, but don't have a relationship with the prosecutor to the point where you're not fighting for your client. We take an oath of office to be loyal to our clients and our clients' constitutional rights. And I took my oath seriously because, first of all, I felt privileged that I had the opportunity to be a lawyer. Remember, I was incarcerated.
Right.
So I quit because I didn't want to be a part of that. I started my own law firm, and I gave the same dedication and commitment to my clients. Although they were paying me, what I did was I preferred to take clients who were indigent, who did not have the money. And when I went into court, people thought they were paying me thousands of dollars because it was an image that I was portraying to the jury. And I might have paid, when I first started my law firm, I charged like $500 to do a misdemeanor case when I could have charged $5,000.
Right.
I would charge $1,500 for a felony case. I never forget, I charged $1,500 for a case my client was facing life for burglary, battery, and maybe aggravated assault.
Mm-hmm.
Took it all the way to trial, found not guilty.
Oh, wow.
He couldn't afford me, but I believed that he was innocent. And this is what you have to do. You got a lawyer from the heart.
Right. That's important.
It is.
In that game. Let me ask you, the salary of a public defender, man, just for those that may be seeking to go down that road, what's the salary on a public defender?
The salary, and this was back in 2016 when I was working, I was making about $42,000 a year. And that's really, you only get paid once a month. So you don't get paid every 2 weeks. You get your salary, it was like $22,000, $3,000 and change after taxes. So the salary is not a lot, but I didn't work for the salary. I wanted to work as a public defender so I can have the experience.
No doubt.
So when I started my own firm, I would be good.
Exactly.
So if you want to work for the public defender's office to do good, to do right by the clients, that's the best place to be. But you're not going to make any money, but your heart is there. The good thing is, I was so good as a public defender. When I started my law firm and my clients, unfortunately, who got in trouble again, I gave everyone my cell phone, so they knew to call me and say, I need you to take my case, and that's how I got my clients.
I think that's from leaving the public defender realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you went to practice your own law firm,
Yeah.
It must have been pretty easy transition, far as you already was known somewhere already for being a public defender and having a good rapport with.
My name, when you heard Earley, or when a prosecutor knew that Earley was on the case, they would try to give me the best offer because they know Earley goes to trial. I'm a litigator, and I could try a felony case that's punishable by life in 90 days. Because the moment I get the case, I'm reading the police report, I'm setting the depositions, I'm fast. Early is early for trial. So I'm always true to my name. So what they started to do was when they know I'm in trial, they'll call more more prosecutors to sit and watch me. But see, I don't use notes. It's up here.
Right.
So I never try the same case twice. So even though you're watching me on this case, you're never gonna figure me out.
Wow.
So
There's a lot of book work.
it's fun.
I bet you.
Law school is so hard. I went when I had 3 kids. I have 4 children now. You have to read about 50 pages a night. But because growing up in the inner city, I didn't have that good foundation in school. It takes me longer to understand.
Right.
So I had to read everything twice. So if I'm reading everything twice, I'm reading 100 pages a night.
Of course.
That's 500 pages in a week. It was that was the hardest thing ever. If you're thinking about going to law school, make sure you like to read. If not, law school's not for you. Okay.
Man, that's amazing. My daughter told me that though, cause she was in there. She was in there. She's told me it was a lot of reading, man.
Just talking about it, you just make my head hurt. Let's not talk about it.
Hey man, we gonna get rid of that, man. On to the next question, man. Man, with that being said, going on to the law firm, what made you want to pursue this judge thing?
That's a great question. So when I was a lawyer and as a public defender, I never understood how many black judges there were. I just never seen them. So I figured, the judges might be over there in that courtroom. Then I realized there's 90 judges in Broward County, but there's only 10 black judges.
Oh my God.
It's not even half of the diversity quota, if there is a quota.
Right.
But when you have a criminal justice system that's supposed to be equal,
right.
That's what the scales of justice stand for.
Right.
How is that equal?
It's not.
You have 80 white judges and only 10. It's not equal. So I decided that I'm overly qualified. The only qualification to be a judge is 5 years.
5 years of being a lawyer.
That's it. There's no other you don't have to try a case ever in your life. There's no other qualification. I've been a lawyer for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried over 100 trials.
Right.
I have the most experience over my opponent who I'm running against. So there's no comparison. She can't light a match to
How
me.
many people running against you?
Just me and her.
Just you and her?
Let's go.
What's her name?
Well, her last name is Cohen.
Okay.
And for those of you who are watching, and I'm pretty sure you're going to air this before the election.
Yeah, of course.
I challenge you to Google my first and last name, Kaysia Earley, Kaysia. And my last name is Earley, Earley. But I also challenge you to Google my opponent. Her name is Marty, Mardi, Cohen, Cohen. And that's all I'm going to say because running as a judge is different than any other politician.
Gotcha.
We have rules. We have a thick book that we have to follow because if we do not follow those rules, we'll be disqualified. We cannot say who our party affiliation is. The supervisor of elections, they conceal it because they don't want people voting for us based on our party affiliation because judges are supposed to seem fair. I cannot disparage or talk about my opponent, and I don't have to because my qualifications speak for itself.
No doubt.
So the only thing we're allowed to talk about is our experience, which we're talking about now, and why we want to run. And I want to run because I'm qualified and we need diversity on the bench.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And I'm just meeting you today. I'm actually proud of you, man.
Thank
That
you.
you're doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? This is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Coming through triumph, man, and what you had today, man, it speaks volumes, man,
Thank
about your drive and your will to succeed.
Yeah.
And becoming a judge, man, that would be huge.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's already done.
That's huge.
It is huge. How many people do you know have a judge's name in their phone and say, hey, I know this person, not know of this person, but I know this person.
Right.
We as a community, we need to be a part of professionalism and know people in high places.
Right.
It shouldn't be that we're always low on the totem pole. No.
I agree.
We're royalty. We're kings and queens. So why don't we have those connections so that, to say, I know this person personally. I know this judge personally.
Right. Kaysia, what's so funny you speaking about that, right? I think that's I don't want to sound messed up about it, but I think a lot of us, our people, ain't in position because a lot of them don't look back. The ones that become successful in whatever area of work they're in, they don't reach back and throw the rope back across the road or the gate.
Yeah.
And that's why that's what I believe why a lot of us don't be in position. That's why we don't got a lot of black more millionaires. That's why we don't got a lot of black more judges. Yeah. That's why we don't got
You make a good point, and you know what? It's your truth. And I have to agree with you to a certain extent.
Okay.
Because I do believe there's good people out there that reaches back. I'm a prime example. I have been named the top attorney in the state of Florida, right? I may not have the recognition as famous and popular lawyers, but I do have the title of top 40 under 40.
Right.
I have also been named Mentor of the Year in Broward County.
Okay.
I go to schools, I go to the juvenile detention centers. While running a law firm, while raising my 4 children, while being a wife, I mentor to the kids. I'm always reaching back because mentorship is so important.
Very.
I had a teacher who shaped my impression of what lawyers do, and that's why I really had the drive to become a lawyer. So we have to be mentors and reach out to others. If you make it, when you succeed, it's not if, because we all have that drive. When you succeed, give someone a hand.
Yes.
Lift someone up. We cannot have that crabs in a barrel mentality. And what that means is, I used to live in DC, so Maryland at the harbor, you get a barrel of crabs.
Yeah.
And then the crabs, what they do is they try to climb out of the barrel and escape, but the crabs at the bottom keeps pulling them down.
Right.
So we cannot have that mentality. We have to say, you know what, I made it, time to lift someone up. When we do that, we're a force to be reckoned with.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Man, I read an article. I think at least 5 years ago. It was one black judge. I actually had a chance to meet her, a young lady, older woman, and something had happened, and she made the news in reference to some cop did something to her at a house or something, and he thought she was somebody else. And it was just a bad thing that shouldn't have had happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just looked at that like, you know what? Sometimes when we make it out, man, sometimes, do we really make it out?
We don't until society changes, and I'll tell you why. If you see me on a regular basis, you wouldn't know that I'm a lawyer. So
Right.
I don't dress in lawyer clothes all the time.
Right.
I'm that mom. I'll be in my shorts, I'll be in my tank top, and I know how to just be cool with the kids.
Right.
And I remember when we moved into our neighborhood, we were the first black family to move into our neighborhood.
Okay.
And we had the cops called on us so many times because our neighbors didn't think that we lived there. So my children, my son had dreads, they'll walk their dog, and then the cops would be called. So no one knew that, number one, I was a lawyer, and no one knew that I was capable of being in, quote, their community.
Right.
So when you say when we make it up, do we really make it out of the racial problems? The answer is no, because hatred is deep-seated. And until they start judging us by the content of our character instead of the color of our skin,
Right.
we're still going to have these problems.
No doubt.
No doubt.
What do you feel like you're going to bring to this bench, man, when you get there?
Oh, man, so much. I'm going to bring integrity back to the bench.
No doubt.
I'm going to bring experience back to the bench. Respect to any and everyone that comes into my courtroom. Because I do believe that to whom much is given, much is required.
Right.
There's a lack of respect on the bench. There's a lack of experience on the bench. And I'm going to bring so much more to my community from the bench.
That's what I'm talking about, man. We need that.
Yes, we do.
We need that in this game.
Yes, we do.
This is, you say 10 black judges in Broward County.
Yes, out of 90, and that's not a lot.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Well, shame on me, but I Googled today. My personal feelings is even judges they must do it for the love as well, because I was looking at their salary, I Googled it. And I'm saying to myself, like, hold up, this don't sound right.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. You know what? You make a good point. I would actually be making less money as a judge. And I've had people say, Kaysia, why would you leave your law firm to be a judge?
That's what I was thinking.
And I'm going to tell you the real reason is because if I can inspire me getting on the bench and running as a young woman, a young black woman, if I can inspire that sister to run in 2 more years and that sister to run in 2 more years, my judicial position will be for 6 years. So we run every 6 years.
That's how that works.
Yeah, so if I can inspire people to run for judge within 6 years, then that's one of the reasons why. Another reason why is because when someone comes to my courtroom, whether you're black or white, I'm coming with empathy, compassion. So if you come in my courtroom, I'm not going to say everyone that commits a crime goes to jail. No.
Right.
I'm going to analyze your case and see what is the best way that I can deter you from committing a crime. So it's greater than me.
Right.
And in life, everything can't be about money.
Right.
Because if it's about money, then we're selfish, and then we die tomorrow. We can't take it with us anyway.
Exactly.
So I'm not running for judge for the money. I'm going to be making less money. I'm not running for judge for the power. There's a lot of judges who, I'm going to answer that question for you, what you just said. Why would a judge, even a wealthy judge, run for this position? Sometimes it's power.
I agree.
Because if they tell their colleague, oh, I'm a judge, they may get a free perk here, or free lodging here, or free this and free that. So sometimes it's not even about the job.
Right.
It's to tell everyone you're a judge.
Right. And
Those are the type of people that don't belong.
I agree totally. And it's the police department. I know that some police departments, like when they guard car dealerships, when they sit there and guard car dealerships, you know, some of these dealerships get the officers' cars that they could use without paying for, and they use it till they finish with it. And I ain't knocking it, man. It is what it is. That's your perk. That's your perk. But I was saying all that to say this, like, the game ain't really.
It's not equal.
You know.
It's not fair.
It ain't.
But
man.
instead of complaining about it, I'm going to be the one playing the game and making sure it works not just for me, but for my future generations. I have 4 children. So I want to be sure that I provide a great example. I don't want them to say, yeah, my mom went to jail, yeah, she grew up poor and she didn't do anything with her life. I want them to look at their mother and say, you know what, mom did it, I'm going to do it better. That's it.
That says a whole bunch, man. Kaysia, man, this is huge, man. I got an attorney in here, man. He's my first attorney, man. This is groundbreaking for my show. Groundbreaking.
I'm the first attorney!
Yeah, the first soon-to-be judge, man.
Let's go.
That's what we talking
Let's
about,
go.
man. When is the election?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, the election is fastly approaching us. The main day is on August 23rd, but my last name is Earley, so I want everyone to vote early. Mail-in ballots, early voter registration, because statistics show that when the person wins early voting, they've won the race. So I need everyone to go to my social media page, Google my first and last name, you'll see my website. My first and last name is also my official website, KaysiaEarley.com. Or if you are on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Kaysia Earley for Judge. Just make sure you put that extra E in Earley, E-A-R-L-E-Y.
Y'all make sure y'all tap in and find her, man.
Tap in.
She's dope, man. Miss Earley, let me ask you, Kaysia, excuse me.
It's fine.
When judges get to be judges, right? And I know you don't know that yet because you're not there yet, but do judges get a lot of scrutiny? Like when they feel like a call was made that shouldn't have made, and have you heard what comes with that?
Well, the good thing about being a judge, if you get it wrong, the attorney can challenge it and take it up on appeal. So I'll be a criminal judge. So if I make a ruling on the case and the client is found guilty, then that defense attorney can take it up to the appeals court, which is a higher court, and the court can look at the transcript, see it if they agree with that attorney, and they can say, you know what, I believe Judge Earley got it right, therefore leave the verdict as it is. So there's checks and balances. Judges do get it wrong all the time. They're human. But because of my experience and the amount of trials that I've done, I'm going to be sure that I make sure I'm making the right rulings every time, because it's going to affect someone's freedom.
Right, no doubt.
Yeah.
They can't say they're wrong when they get something wrong. They can't say it. They can't admit it, right? If they get something wrong.
Well, it depends, because if they made the wrong call, and that's the purpose of the record, they can say, you know, that objection should have been overruled, or that objection should have been sustained. Look, judges follow the law, and we respect the law. So when we do something wrong and it's contrary to the law, we're supposed to go with what the law says, and not with what Joe says or what this defendant says.
Right. Another question. Coming from the public defender standpoint, what's the percentage of black women and men that's in that particular position?
Wow. There's more women than men as public defenders, as lawyers. There's not a lot of women lawyers, though, altogether. So if you did a percentage of all the lawyers across America,
okay,
black women only make up about 4%. it's mostly white males as lawyers. There's white males, and then there's white females, then there's black males, and we make up the smallest percentage of lawyers. So if we make up the smallest percentage of lawyers, obviously we make up the smallest percentage of judges.
No doubt.
So it's not a lot of black judges at all. And then there's not a lot of black young female judges. So
Do you know how many black judges currently are in Broward County?
out of the black judges, out of the 10, I think there's only 4 female black judges and 6 males, if I got that correct. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man, that's cool, man.
But there'll be 5 me.
Straight up, man. Claim it.
Okay.
Claim it. Challenges. I want to speak on challenges, man. As far as this campaign go, man, what are some of the challenges you're facing?
The first challenge is financial, because I'm running a county-wide race. So that means I have to reach all of the 31 counties in Broward. I have to purchase billboards. I have to purchase, I don't know if you've seen any of them, yard
This morning.
signs.
I
Really?
seen 3 of them this morning
Ooh.
on Oakland Park, and I was going to get my coffee.
Why did you take a
I
picture?
looked right away and I said, look at
Why
that
did
shit
you
right there.
take a picture?
I don't know. 56 in
Yes,
Oakland.
56 in Oakland.
And I seen another one over here on Oakland. And
Yes. So each of those, so I purchased right now about 50. So it cost me about $8,500.
I'm sure it's expensive.
So I need donations.
Okay.
And if I don't get the donations, I'll self-finance because I believe in myself. So the main thing for anyone that's thinking about running for judge, it will cost you because you have to take care of the entire county. In addition to that, it's a time commitment. I've been going to different events. I'm here with you right now. I had another event earlier today and I got one after you. So you have to be able to dedicate time because you want to meet everyone. I can't reach everyone, but you can reach your set and this person could. And another thing I always tell people, don't despise small beginnings. Don't look down on this particular person. If they want to interview you or if they want to invite you to their place, don't just speak at the big churches or the mega. Don't do that because the real voters are in your community. I can't stand that when people just go to the country clubs or come to the community.
At least you dialed in.
I'm always this is
It
me.
ain't
Even
all
if I
smoke
wasn't,
and mirrors.
even if I wasn't running for judge, when we get off, I'm gonna give you a card. It's called a trap card. It's the same size as this card, but when you flip it over, it has your basic legal rights. So when you get pulled over by the cops, I tell everybody, put it in your visor. When you get pulled over by the cops, you just read over it verbatim. Don't give them. Don't talk to them. Don't converse with the cops.
Right.
So I've always been a part of the community. This ain't nothing new.
Wow. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. You spoke about becoming a president. I saw you did that in your bio documentary.
Yes, I did.
Is that the procedure? It come from lawyer to judge to?
Well, I thought until our last president, Trump, came out of nowhere and became a president.
So
I said, if he can do it, I sure enough could do it. And I'm more educated in the field of law and public policy. So I've always wanted to be a president, even before Barack Obama. This was 30 years ago when I was in the 4th grade. And I still have those aspirations and dreams after, depending on how long I'm judge. I don't want to put a time limit on how long I can serve my community.
Gotcha.
But that's still a goal. I'm only 39.
Right. Yeah, man, you're young,
I got
man.
time.
You're young. 6 years on the bench. That's what it comes with. 6 years.
Every 6 years.
Then you got to rerun.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I never knew. I'm learning something new learning something new in this interview here. What are some of your campaign strategies?
Well, number one, I'm reaching my community. I'm everywhere. Before I came here, I went to my local Jamaican shop and I just started talking to the people. I gave them my card and someone did what you did. It was like, oh, you're the person that I see on. Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness. I'm like, okay, I feel like a little celebrity now.
Yeah, you are.
So the main strategy, reach the people and be real. You know, I had so many people when I first started this campaign. It's like, hey, Kaysia, you're too fun. You can't be too funny because they won't take you seriously. That's my personality.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then too bad. But I don't want to change who I am to get your vote.
Right.
I'm gonna give you me, the whole me, and nothing but the me.
That's what it's about, Kaysia.
And then you just gotta reach the people.
That's what it's about.
That's
Did you try radio?
I did so. I usually do radio stations throughout Broward.
Okay.
But again, everything is a cost. So if you go to the big radio stations, they have to be fair. So they have to charge you the same amount they're charging your opponent.
Okay.
So everything is a cost. So if I can't afford to do the big radio stations. I just go out to a family day and just pass out cards.
That's what it's about. You hustling. You got a team?
I do. So I have my family first. I have 4 children, so they have to pass out cards. They have to wear their T-shirts.
Straight up.
If they want that McDonald's or the Chick-fil-A. Then after my family, I have my church.
Okay.
They're volunteering. And then after my church, all those people who had not guilty verdicts, when they found out I was running for judge, it's like, Miss Earley, I need a stack of 500 cards. They are so dedicated. This is why it pays to do right by people. Stop taking or always taking from people and not giving back. And I'm talking to not only lawyers, but I'm just talking to people generally. Just do right by people. And when you do that, right always comes back, just like it's coming back to me.
Man, that is huge, man. What is a congressional legislative assistant? What is that?
It's a fancy terminology for an intern.
That's what it is.
So I worked on Capitol Hill. I used to live in D.C.
Okay.
And I volunteered for the congressman. He's no longer the congressman now, but I volunteered for him. So I used to be on Capitol Hill where they made the laws inside the rotunda. That's what that Capitol in D.C. is called.
Okay.
And so I was his assistant, and I had the opportunity to look at the other congressmen on the House floor vote on bills. So that was a great experience, and I did that when I was in college.
Wow. Man, that's
So I was close to the White House now.
Yeah, I'm sure, like next door.
Yeah.
I had a chance to visit them when I took my daughter down to Howard, man. It was a fascinating, it was a hell of a trip for me, because I'd never seen all the monuments and things of that nature.
Man.
The museums.
Yeah, the Smithsonian museums, I call it the pencil, tall.
Yeah.
The 14th Street.
I don't know a lot of that stuff, but I know what I did notice, right? That I thought was weird. It was CIA agents on the corners of different places. I'm gonna tell you a quick funny story, right? Yeah. I was visiting, it was the Martin Luther King monument, right?
Uh-huh.
And we leaving, or whatever the case. It was this dude, he had the garbs on and a hat and a big white beard, but he was from India somewhere, so he was an Indian. And he had a sword longer than him, and the sword was so long, it was damn near dragging the ground, right? And before we got to him, it was like maybe 5 or 6 cops that were sitting in the Suburban, they were just sitting there talking. And I said to myself, I stopped my wife, I said, watch when this dude walk by there. They ain't see that sword he got on him, right? So when he ended up walking toward them, and they like, hey, they started from a distance like, what are you doing with that sword? Where you going with that? You know what I mean? He like, I'm visiting, I'm from another country. So they took the sword from him. Yeah. It was just funny to see you walking down the street like that.
Yeah, when in Rome, do as Romans do. You in America, you don't walk around with swords like that. Especially DC, they're on high alert.
Exactly.
Anyway, because there's a lot of congressmen down there, so you gotta, Yeah, that was crazy though. I bet they took it though.
Yeah, they took it. They said, go ahead and finish your tour, come back and get this thing, man.
Yeah, don't have that around people.
Crazy.
Kids, yeah.
Man, Sia, man. Man, this is amazing for me, man. Anything else you want to share with us, man? I'm open.
Listen, I just want to thank you for having this platform, because you have an audience, and it's your obligation to not only entertain but to educate. I always say you can't always have good times and fun times, because if you're not educating the people that is dedicated to you, then you're doing them a disservice.
I agree.
So first and foremost, I want to thank you for even inviting me and allow me to share my platform on your platform.
No doubt.
And I just want to tell everyone that's watching, on a very serious note, it is absolutely imperative that you vote, that you register, and not just you. Call up your mom, your dad, your cousins. If they're over the age of 18, I need them to vote. And you might be saying, well, how do I vote? I promise you, it only takes 5 minutes. And you can do it 2 ways. You can go to my website, KaysiaEarley.com, KaysiaEarley. Click on register to vote. It's going to take you directly to the website. Or you can just Google register to vote in Broward County. You can do it from your internet, but please make sure you register. Vote early for Earley. Thank you.
That's what it is. How early could they vote, Early?
You can vote early as in the next couple of weeks. So by July 1st, you should start receiving your voting ballots through mail. And once you receive it, just look for Kaysia Earley and research the other judges and make sure you make an informed decision.
Hey, man. This is Chop Up Hour. I'm with Kaysia Earley, man. Our next Broward County Circuit Judge, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap in, like, share, man, and definitely seek out this young lady, man. She got substance and she's got great intentions, man.
Yes.
So y'all mess with us, man. Huh?
Right.
Kaysia Earley, Chopper Power on Fat Man. Yo.
Yes, and my name is Kaysia Earley, and I approve that message.
Oh, it caught all of that. It got all of that. I'm gonna make a clip out of
This
that.
the chopper power. This the chopper power. This the chopper power.